Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is the Dragonchain Updates show. This is episode E. We're getting really close to a flip there of a major bit. And make sure you stay tuned after the updates for an AMA. Reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice. Oh, it's the 239th episode. It's episode 0xee. That is hex, in case you didn't know. And so let's see here. First off, we'll do Dragonchain updates. So for the show, the governance itself, last week's episode created 662 lot. There were 2 questions for 165 lot each. There were no featured posts. The host received 165 lot, and Dragonchain received 167 lot. For Den.Social updates, here, let's look at the layer creation process was completed last week, and the new layers are now live. So the first up by unique voters was anti-work, and that's there. And there are actually a few governance issues in there to get it themed and styled and whatever else. Make sure you go vote on those. I've already voted on them, and we need Philosophia Novexis. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I need to look that up first of all. But we need some governance on that to get the background logos and everything else up. Everything is great there, so go check those out. You should already be subscribed to them. That's an automated thing from a DinDAO vote a while back. And if you don't want to be in them, then you can unsubscribe, of course. Next updates, we'll go to World Blockchain Roundtable. In case you missed it, last week's episode was the next bull run. It was very interesting. I think it was only an hour and a half or so, maybe hour 45. Get in there and watch it and share it. The more views it gets, the more lot all the participants will get. And this week, or today, the show is on securing the Internet of Things with blockchain and AI. So it should be a pretty interesting episode. Lots of I hope Greg's there actually with the AI question, but there's a lot to discuss in that. So we'll get into that. And let's see here. So while I refresh these questions for the AMA, because that's all the updates, make sure you like, comment, and share the video today. So the AMA, every participant with a question that gets answered on the show, I think we're supposed to do the top 3, will get lot from the Dragonchain layer. Multiple questions only get credited once. But we still like the questions, and no worries. And I did vote on these already, I think. So let's go down. Auxons, First question, is Den currently under development? Is there a programmer in charge of Den? We haven't seen any news for a long time. So in reverse order, yes, there is a programmer in charge of Den, and he has been mostly doing maintenance in the recent times. There hasn't been, well, I say there has been some new development that we have some reporting that is an ongoing development for a special page to, we, if you have been on the Den call, we've had a few things coming forward on essentially doing some things out of band that would make it easier just to get them done. We're all overburdened, overtaxed on all of the other things that we're doing at Dragonchain. So hopefully we will have more resources in the future, and we will be able to get a few more of these things done that we want to get done. So far, it's been maintaining itself pretty well. We've had occasional issues where someone had an issue with their account, and we have a little bit of debugging we've had to do recently. There are some plans to do some things that are not that wouldn't be a massive undertaking. So anyway, great question. Thank you, Oxen. Next, I am with the German Shepherd. Joe, I'm sure you're familiar with X's community notes. Yes. I don't know what they call it, but they did put me into I'm sure a lot of you are, the program where you can help evaluate them before they are shown to the general. The community inputs try to get consensus on postings to prove or disprove stated facts. Here's what I found out about it. Community notes, formerly Birdwatch, I didn't know that, is a feature on X where contributors can add context, such as fact checks under a post, image, or video. It is a community-driven content moderation program intended to provide helpful and informative context based on a crowd-sourced system. Okay, so how well does it work, and does Den do this better? And if so, how? I think in the simplest cases, it does work. There are some cases where someone will post a video saying, this just happened, somewhere in the world, and it is useful to know that when someone says, well, that actually was 5 years ago, and it was in a different geographic region, or whatever else. It's an interesting thing, and in those cases, it does work. I do know, and there are people out there that know a lot more than I do about it, because they're really messing with X algorithms a lot, that it's heavily manipulated, that there are various groups in the world that have political reasons to manipulate some of that information. And there are some interesting features that I would not be against using in Den for some rating of the consensus. Probably the most unique thing that I saw about it is that it uses, I'm not going to get the right word here, but it essentially tracks if you have voted on a community note that it is a good note, or it's not needed, or it's a bad note, that they will map that to others who have voted on the same issue, and then over time, it really comes into effect, or your consensus on either side of that question matters when you are disagreeing with the people you normally agree with, and it's intended to keep people from pulling together as sheep, or to manipulate the issue. And I think, although I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't mind integrating that concept potentially into some parts of what we do. But generally, I think Den, on the one hand, I say, does it better by not doing that, right? That I don't actually think that a person should have to be, ushered in, and, oh, the crowd says this is right, so it's right. And that's just a recipe for disaster, as we've seen in the modern era. And so I actually think we do it better by not doing it. That said, the ability to reply under a post. And we, by the way, have seen it in Den before, where someone posted that there was some protest going on. I can't remember. But I do remember it was in South America. I can't remember what city it was in, but that someone, another denizen, says, "Well, I'm from there, and that happened. This is a recording from a different, from years ago." And so we already have that, and that came to consensus, and it was still a note that is not in any special way noted as coming from Twitter or coming from an authority to say, hey, your data is wrong, which is the reason that it's manipulated, right? I mean, if they just posted a whole bunch of comments under it, it would probably be more expensive for them to get some level of, to feel like it was that the information came with authority, essentially. So super interesting. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not against integrating a couple of those features potentially into the regular consensus system, and or maybe when we did the voting consensus, maybe that's the better way to do it. That and I'm brainstorming here right with you right now, that essentially your voting reputation, which doesn't exist in Den, although the concept is there, the design is there, and we've had extensive discussions about it, that the voting consensus could be a very powerful feature, especially when we get a lot more people in Den and posting information. Because right now, all of your reputation is based on content. So if you're not a content producer and you are extremely great evaluator of content, your role is extremely important, but we're not right now measuring your consistency or how likely it is that your vote is better than my vote on the same issue. So there's a bunch of interesting things there that we want to experiment with, and it's ongoing. So see the above question, right? Okay, so that's the entire show. That's all the AMA questions. So we have 2. That's great. Make sure you share the show today. And also, while you're at it, go to Dragonchain.Store, get a hoodie or a hat or a t-shirt or something. Lots of cool stuff there. And also, let's see here. Let's go to the legalfund.dragonchain.com. If you can, if you're able to, please make a donation and let us know if you did. If you don't have to, if you want to, we really appreciate it, and it will be put to good use. Like we said before, you can give with any amount of regular fiat banking money through your credit card or other payment systems, Apple Pay, Google Pay, so on, or you can give it in any crypto. And if the crypto that you want to give or that you have available is not in our list, please fill out the form, and we can add that. How do I say? We can add it to the list, give you an address to send something to. Also, if you're about to give crypto, I would say go in and double check the signature on the site. That's the best practice. If you're going to actually donate money, and I wish more projects did this, but essentially this makes it clear, and you can verify that the address and that all of these addresses are valid. Anyway, so make sure you watch us again next week on Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Also, watch the World Blockchain Roundtable today at 1100 Eastern, 1600 UTC. That is in about 45 minutes. Make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Rowe on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den. Let's see here. I'm going to check before I leave. Okay, I think no comments. I think I covered everything. If I didn't, let me know, and we will see you again next week.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.